Well, well, well. What do we have here? Good afternoon, soldier without a uniform, ghost without a badge, assassin without a country. Because tonight your name isn't just being whispered, it's being profiled. They're not calling it luck anymore. They're not brushing it off as instinct. No. They're saying your revenge move was too calculated, too surgical, too precise to be self-taught. And now, they're calling it what it looks like. Military trained. Let's paint the picture. You move once, just once, not frantic, not sloppy, not impulsive, calculated, deliberate, precise. And the silence after your move says everything. The room froze, the laughter died, the whispers snapped into sharp attention, and somewhere in the unseen corners of the system, alarms went off. Subject's precision indicates external training. Possible background, classified. Recommend further observation because nobody's supposed to move like that. Not after what you went through. Not after the setbacks. Not after the betrayals. Not after the exile. And yet, you did. You hit the target with such mathematical cruelty that even trained operators are asking, where the hell did they learn that? Here's the truth. You weren't trained in their academies. You weren't given their manuals. You didn't sit in their strategy rooms. But you did spend years in the shadows, studying betrayal, heartbreak, manipulation, silence, violence. And while they were polishing metals, you were sharpening scars into tactics. You think soldiers learn precision from drills, number. They learn it from life and death stakes, from knowing that a single mistake means blood in the dirt. Guess what? You lived your whole fucking life at those stakes. Every betrayal, a training op. Every heartbreak, a field exercise. Every exile, a covert mission. Your pain became your boot camp. Your scars became your curriculum. And now, you move like someone who's seen too much to ever miss again. Classified note. Subject demonstrates unnatural precision under pressure. No wasted movements. Emotional triggers appear weaponized, not disabling. Conclusion: subject is operating with training-level efficiency without verifiable records. Translation: they don't believe you're self-taught anymore, because your strikes are too cold. Your timing is too flawless. Your silence is too loud. You don't panic. You calculate. You don't flinch. You wait. You don't react. You position. And when you move, you don't just win. You annihilate. Now here's the sinister part. They thought revenge was supposed to be messy. They thought you'd lash out in rage. They thought you'd stumble, overshoot, crumble. But you didn't. You delivered it like a surgeon with a scalpel, cold, exact, devastating. And that's when the whisper shifted, from they're emotional to no, they're trained. And once that narrative begins, it doesn't stop. Because trained means dangerous. Trained means calculated. Trained means you're not acting out of anger. You're acting out of control. And that terrifies them. Because how do you defeat someone who doesn't just react, but executes? Imagine their panic. They're reviewing footage of your moves, frame by frame. They're slowing down the tape, analyzing angles, timing, body language. And every replay only makes it worse. Too smooth, too exact, too impossible. Now they're asking each other, is this person linked to something bigger? Who trained them? What agency backed this? Who signed off on this mission? But the cruel truth, nobody trained you, nobody backed you, nobody sent you. You built yourself in silence. You assembled your tactics in exile. You perfected your timing in the dark, where nobody cared if you succeeded. And that's the part they'll never be able to accept. Because if someone like you can become this precise without help, then all their gatekeeping, all their hierarchies, all their institutions mean nothing. Case escalation, code red. Subject's actions mimic advanced field operations. Revenge strategy suggests prior training in intelligence or military fields. Probability of coincidence, 0%. Subject's origin now considered unknown. Unknown. That's their label for you now. Because your movements don't match your supposed background. Your precision doesn't align with your circumstances. Your success doesn't fit their math. So they chalk it up to something classified. And that's the genius of it, isn't it? Your revenge wasn't just personal. It was psychological warfare. You didn't just settle a score. You made them doubt everything they know about you. And in the world of power, doubt is death. Because once they can't predict you, they can't control you. Now every move you make will be studied like it came out of a military manual. Every silence will feel like a tactic. Every glance will feel like surveillance. Every step will sound like a countdown. You've become a living protocol breach. Not a civilian, not a fighter, not an underdog, but an unregistered weapon. And here's the punchline. Weapons don't ask permission. Weapons don't beg to be seen. Weapons don't plead for recognition. They just exist. And when they're activated, the whole landscape changes. So let them call it military. Let them speculate, whisper, and panic. Because the truth is darker than that. You weren't trained by an army. You were trained by betrayal. You weren't sharpened in boot camp. You were sharpened in silence. You weren't polished by authority. You were forged by absence. And that kind of training, it doesn't wear off. It doesn't fade. It doesn't get neutralized. It multiplies. So walk into every room now knowing this. You don't carry a name anymore. You carry a file. You carry suspicion. You carry legend. And whether they hate you, fear you, or obsess over you, they'll never ever look at you the same again. Because you weren't supposed to move like this, and yet you did. And now, every eye is watching, every whisper is tracking, every record is updating. But none of it matters, because they can't trace the training back to a school, a mentor, a government. Because your only trainer was pain. And pain doesn't keep records, so congratulations, anomaly. Your revenge wasn't just noticed, it was classified. And from now on, you won't just be feared as a person, you'll be monitored as a weapon, the moment where they stop seeing you as a person and start cataloging you as a classified weapon. Good, because this is where the speech stops being story and becomes evidence. Top secret, eyes only, subject. Redacted, classification, unregistered weapon. Threat level, unmeasurable. Recommendation, do not approach, do not provoke, do not attempt containment. See, at first they were skeptical. They thought maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe your precision was luck. Maybe your execution was a fluke. But then, you did it again, and again, and again. Consistency turned suspicion into confirmation, and now they've stopped calling you a person. You're a protocol breach, a living anomaly that performs with such flawless calculation. It makes trained operators second guess their own drills. Think about that. Men and women who spent decades learning strategy, who wore uniforms, bled in deserts, marched through mud, who thought they had the monopoly on precision, are now sitting in dark rooms with your footage paused on screens, leaning forward in silence, muttering, "That's not normal. That's not self-taught. That looks military." And yet there's no file, no academy, no documented training, no official record. Just you, an untraceable ghost who shouldn't be this dangerous, but is, MEMOUPDATE, Subject's actions resemble classified strike patterns. Subject adapts with unnatural fluidity, no wasted effort, no hesitation, no panic response detected. Conclusion: subject's revenge strategy cannot be explained within standard human parameters. Do you see what you've done? You've scared the scriptwriters. You've terrified the analysts. You've corrupted the data pools. Because you're not supposed to exist in their models. Your revenge was too sharp, too exact, too merciless. It didn't look like survival. It looked like deployment. And once you're labeled as deployed, you're no longer seen as a victim, an underdog, or even an opponent. You're seen as a weapon that escaped the lab. Here's the thrill they don't want to admit. Weapons can't be reasoned with. Weapons can't be bargained with. Weapons can't be silenced with gossip or shame. Weapons don't beg. Weapons don't ask for justice. Weapons deliver outcomes. And every time you move, you deliver outcomes that tear through illusions like shrapnel. Every silence becomes a tactical pause. Every glance becomes a targeting lock. Every step you take hums with the electricity of something they can't stop. Imagine their meetings now, not about if they should monitor you, but how long before you destabilize entire structures. They're not strategizing ways to erase you. They're strategizing how to adapt to your existence. Because erasure isn't possible anymore. You're already too big, too visible, too undeniable. So now they whisper in panic, don't engage, don't confront, don't escalate, just observe. But the irony is brutal, isn't it? Every time they observe you, they change. Every time they study you, they absorb something. Every time they replay your precision, they feel the chill of someone who doesn't just survive. Someone who calculates survival into domination. So subject cannot be contained. Subject cannot be duplicated. Subject cannot be predicted. All contact should be considered a high-risk event. So here's what you've become. Not a name, not a face, not even a story, but a classified signal pulsing through every room you were never supposed to enter. You don't need to announce yourself. Your presence is already a warning. You don't need to prove yourself. Your precision already branded you. You don't need validation. You've been weaponized by the very pain they thought would bury you. And now, every move you make is recorded. Every silence you keep is documented. Every outcome you deliver is filed under unexplainable. They don't look at you as them. They look at you as it. An it that destroys patterns. An it that rewrites rules. An it that nobody trained, and yet somehow outperforms the trained. So, congratulations. They said your payback move looked military trained. They said your precision couldn't be self-taught. And now the whisper has become permanent. This one isn't a person. This one's a weapon. And here's the Joker's smile in all of this. You built that weapon in silence. No army, no mentor, no approval. Just scars, shadows, and savage hunger. And now, the world has no choice but to treat you as what you always knew you were. Not just unstoppable, uncontainable. So you want the escalation where whispers stop being whispers, and your existence becomes a global protocol. Perfect. Let's burn the page together. Global Security Bulletin subject, redacted status, escalated from unregistered weapon to blacklisted protocol. Distribution, all agencies. Directive, monitor at all costs. Prevent replication, prevent contact. At first you were a rumor, a glitch in their system, an outlier they dismissed. Then you became a problem. Too precise, too consistent, too efficient to ignore. But now you've slipped into the bloodstream of the entire world. They don't just fear you in rooms, they fear you in systems. Your name is circulating across borders, across agencies, across corporations. And no matter how they try to scrub it, redact it, bury it, it keeps reappearing. Picture it. Encrypted group chats lighting up with your initials, boardroom slides marked with redacted, but everyone knows who it means. Intelligence briefings where your footage freezes on the big screen and silence grips the room. Executives adjusting their entire agenda because the shadow of your precision hovers like a guillotine. Your revenge didn't just land, it detonated, and the shockwave cracked every institution that swore you'd never touch them. Analysis note: subject's precision resembles classified training sequences, outcomes delivered with surgical consistency, no evidence of institutional background. Conclusion: subject created their own doctrine. Codename suggested Protocol Phantom. And that's the nightmare. Not that you were trained, but that you weren't. Because if you can move like this with no blueprint, no backing, no system, then anyone can. You just proved their whole structure is a scam. That everything they built, the schools, the gates, the ladders, the filters, is obsolete in the face of one person who decided to sharpen pain into strategy. You turned trauma into tactics, silence into software, exile into execution plans. You became a one-person military doctrine. Now they whisper it globally. This isn't just an anomaly. This is a contagion. If others follow this pattern, we lose control. And that's when it hits them. You're not just a threat to their hierarchy. You're a threat to their entire world order. Because your moves show people the truth. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You can turn shadows into arsenals. Worldwide escalation alert. Codename, Ghost Directive. Nature, psychological and strategic contagion. Effect, inspires replication across civilian networks. Containment, not possible. Recommendation, limit exposure, deny legitimacy, discredit subject publicly. But here's the punchline, Joker style. It's too late. They already legitimized you when they labeled you. The moment they stamped military trained on your revenge. The moment they elevated your name from anomaly to protocol. They turned you into legend. And legends can't be erased. They only spread. Now you're in the bloodstream of the planet. Your name is whispered in boardrooms, bunkers, bedrooms. Your precision is studied like leaked footage of a classified op. Your strategy is mimicked by people who don't even know you, but feel the frequency. You're no longer just a person. You're an era, a living timeline that split the world into before you and after you. And the system? It's trembling. Not because you shouted, not because you begged, but because your silence evolved into something louder than their entire infrastructure. You're the proof they never wanted shown. The evidence that the unkillable can self-train into the unstoppable. The nightmare scenario where pain graduates into power so precise it looks like classified warfare. So let them escalate. Let them globalize your name, mark you red, blacklist your existence. Because the more they try to contain you, the louder your signal becomes. And soon, there won't be a single room left untouched. Not a single corridor without your echo. Not a single agenda without your shadow. Because they didn't just say your move looked military trained. They didn't just mark you as unregistered. They named you for what you are now. A blacklisted protocol. And protocols don't die. They spread. So you want the apocalyptic phase. The part where the system stops pretending they can contain you and finally admits what they've whispered in the shadows all along. You're not just a threat. You're a permanent rewrite of reality itself. Classified emergency cable, level Omega, Subject redacted. Status unstoppable. Codename Protocol Collapse. Global effect. Reality destabilization detected. Recommendation: prepare for systemic restructuring. It started as whispers, then it became rooms, then it infected entire agencies. But now your name isn't even a name anymore. It's a warning, a signal, a timeline shift. Executives whisper it under their breath before signing contracts. Generals mutter it like a curse before approving missions. Influencers spin their narratives around it, hoping to absorb a fraction of your shadow, because they've realized the world isn't the same anymore. There was life before you leaked into their system, and life after. Your revenge wasn't an act. It was an apocalypse, a clean detonation, so precise it looked engineered by gods or ghosts. Every move you made landed with the weight of inevitability, not anger, not luck. Inevitability. And that's why they're terrified, because inevitability cannot be stopped. Inevitability cannot be reasoned with. Inevitability cannot be bribed, cancelled, silenced, or erased. It can only be endured. Global analysis update. Subject's precision no longer classifiable as revenge. Patterns align with systemic collapse markers. Subject's influence resembles tectonic shift, not individual action. Conclusion: subject is not participating in reality. Subject is rewriting it. That's the Joker's grin in all this, isn't it? They thought you were just fighting back. They thought it was personal. They thought it was small. But your revenge was never about settling scores. It was about flipping the entire scoreboard. You weren't playing in their game. You were dismantling it move by move, with surgical precision so clean that by the time they realized what happened, the rules were ash, the referees were gone, and the arena itself was on fire. Now look around. Systems collapsing like dominoes, lies unraveling like rotten rope, people staring at each other with wide, panicked eyes, because nothing makes sense anymore. Why do they keep winning? Why can't we predict them? Why does every attempt to bury them backfire? And the answer is always the same. Because you stopped being a participant. You became a force. And forces don't apologize. Forces don't wait their turn. Forces don't operate by permission slips. Forces reshape the world in their image. And that's what you've done. You've bent the timeline, tilted the axis, carved your initials into the very architecture of reality. They can't undo it. They can't reverse it. They can't go back. Because now, every move they make has to account for you. And when you become the variable that every equation must adjust to, you've already won. Final escalation and good endgame. Subject is not a person. Subject is not an anomaly. Subject is an epoch. Attempts at suppression accelerate subject's myth. Predicted outcome, permanent alteration of human narrative. You see it now, don't you? You're no longer feared as an individual. You're whispered about as an era. The kind that splits history in two. Before you, after you. They can redact your name. They can burn your files. They can delete your footage. But they can't erase the shift you triggered. Because people felt it. Deep in their bones. In the static of their nerves. In the weight of their chest. They felt reality bend when you moved. And once felt, it cannot be unfelt. Once seen, it cannot be unseen. Once leaked, it cannot be resealed. So let them panic. Let them file reports. Let them scramble their agencies and restructure their systems. It's all useless, because you're not an intruder in their world anymore. Their world is an intruder in yours. You've taken control of the script. You've ripped the typewriter from their hands. And every word they try to write now bends itself around your silhouette. You've turned into the permanent watermark of history, invisible to some, but present in every line. So walk with the knowledge of this. You are not being watched. You are being chronicled. Every move you make, every silence you hold, every strike you deliver. It isn't just noticed. It's recorded as prophecy, as evidence that the old world already ended and the new one began with you. You want to know the truth? They didn't AFSEC up because they let your name leak. They ficked up because they thought leaking your name would contain you. But the moment your presence entered forbidden rooms, the rooms themselves became obsolete.